Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
Make sure you download the WBQP TV app, available on most streaming devices.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
Make sure you download the WBQP TV app, available on most streaming devices.
Welcome to Florida's 1st Congressional District, Jimmy Petronas. I'm going to give you a little tour today since you don't actually live here. You know, in case you want to visit sometime. Our home has a unique culture.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Pensacola, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
All right, Pensacola, good morning. You got Morning with Vernon. Yes, sir. You got Morning with Vernon this here morning, y'all. Trust me, trust me. You got it's 6:30 in the morning. Yep, 6:30. And so therefore, you got Vernon this morning. Friday morning, you know what Robert Hill say? Friday and the weekend is made for each other, y'all. Yes, sir. Friday and the weekend is made for each other. So get ready to have a great weekend, y'all. Out on the beach. We had a little wet weather this week, and we're going to see what the weather lady and the weatherman are going to say about what we're going to do for weather on the weekend. See if we're going to have a wet weekend or if we're going to have a dry weekend. We'll see what Mr. and Mrs. Weatherman has to say about that as well. All right, y'all, good morning. You got Morning with Vernon this morning. Let's go over what we usually go over this morning. This is a Friday morning, y'all. Friday morning. Let's start the show off with how do we get it? Okay, how you get the station? Oh, just tell everybody. Number one, the easiest way to do it is just download the app. Okay, just download the WBQP TV app on your phone, and it's easy peasy that way. Okay, you can type it into your browser. Okay. You can look at it on television. It's just so many ways that you can reach WBQP, y'all. And y'all just make sure you tell them that we are here and we are ready to roll this morning with it this morning. So I just want to say good morning to everybody that's under the sound of my voice. All right. So we're going to get with Miss Cheryl this morning, and we're going to talk about the weather. Okay, then we're going to get a little bit into the news you can use. Hopefully we'll talk about a little bit of community stuff that's going on in the community, such as your public service announcement. We're going to throw a little Black history in there if we can find it. And then we're going to be talking to Mrs. Sandra Faze at 7:45 time frame. And at 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Reverend Marcel Davis, y'all. Reverend Marcel Davis at 8 o'clock, talking about the Juneteenth event. And at 8:30, we'll be hopefully talking to Sheriff the sheriff this morning, Sheriff Simmons, see what's going on in the sheriff department world this morning. Okay, and also I had a little bit of a news overview of the news this morning, and I guess they want to. And let me see what they're going to say to this morning. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, Vernon. What are today's headlines for Pensacola and surrounding areas?
Good morning, Vernon. Here's what's in the news today. These are brief WBQP TV news headlines you will be reporting on today. The Justice Department said to open a criminal inquiry into E. Jean Carroll. Santa Rosa County Farm, beekeeper reports animal deaths after FPL helicopter spray. 15-year-old charged with attempted murder following shooting in Walton County. Road closures in downtown Pensacola for the Grand Fiesta Parade. Pensacola officials stage annual Surrendering of Pensacola to open Fiesta celebration. West Florida High School's esports program is building skills tied to high-tech careers. What does Trump's executive order to refine mail-in voting mean for Northwest Florida? Pensacola police rolls out new patrol vehicle, citing nearly $9,000 in savings per car. Pensacola mayor says fiber work near homes must be restored within 48 hours. Boaters voice water hazard concerns in Choctawhatchee Bay amid Brooks Bridge project. Florida's governor lays out a plan to eliminate property taxes long-term. U.S. and Iran reach tentative 60-day ceasefire deal pending Trump's approval. Orange Beach Fire Rescue adds flashover simulator to expand firefighter training expansion. Charges dismissed for woman without right hand cited for holding phone while driving. Escambia sheriff questions why Orange Beach officer dropped off homeless man in Pensacola. Federal judge accused of having sex in chambers with high-ranking police officer. Treasury secretary calls economy challenging as inflation rises and growth slows. Vernon will cover all of these headlines and more in detail in his newscast in his unique style. This is Atlas Edwards reporting for WBQP News. Back to you, Vernon.
All right, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. Y'all, those are just the things that we're going to talk about when we get back from the commercial break. So y'all tell everybody this morning, Vernon, Morning with Vernon. Get your coffee cup. I got my coffee cup here. Yeah, got my coffee cup. Yeah. Good coffee this morning. And y'all tell everybody, Vernon is on. Okay, be right back.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
You are listening and watching WBQP TV and radio. Keep it locked.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
Tune in to the Blues Hound Show every Saturday, 10 a.m. on WBQP TV.
For 35 years, WBQP TVV Radio has been the unwavering voice of the Black community on the Gulf Coast. Your community information station. WBQP has been the voice of the Black community on the Gulf Coast for 35 years.
Welcome to WBQP TV, the voice of the Black community. We are your information station. Stay tuned.
For 75 years, Baptist has brought innovative care to our community. Through our Andrews Institute, we continue the legacy by providing advanced total joint care, restoring mobility, strength, and quality of life. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
For 35 years, WBQP TVV Radio has been the unwavering voice of the Black community on the Gulf Coast. Your community information station.
What is your story? It may take time to find it. You may even question if you have one worth telling. But when all seems lost, your story finds you. Because you don't need permission. Just a place. And we'll be waiting. The American Black Film Festival. Everyone has a story. Yours belongs here.
Make sure you download the WBQP TV app, available on most streaming devices.
Tune in to the Blues Hound Show every Saturday, 10 a.m. on WBQP TV.
WBQP TV and WBQP Radio are the voice of the Black community in Pensacola.
Keep growing.
Remember where you came from. It's the foundation of who you are.
Show up for others.
That's been our approach at Penn Air for 90 years. Penn Air Credit Union, 90 years strong.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
WBQP is the voice of the Black community, your information station.
So what day is the meeting? Fun day.
With daily draw games starting at $1, every day shall henceforth be known as Fun Day.
Every day's Fun Day with Pick Games, featuring drawings twice a day. The Florida Lottery. It's good fun.
Good morning, Vernon. They say Pensacola and the weekends are made for each other. Well, this is your WBQP weekend weather forecast to help you plan your weekend. Friday. High, 84 degrees. Low, 73, 84 degrees. Chance of rain, 70%. Mostly cloudy and humid with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. Heavy rainfall may lead to localized flooding in low-lying areas. Don't forget your raincoat. Saturday. High, 85 degrees. Low, 71 degrees. Chance of rain, 50%. Warm and humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms are possible. You can still have a good day at the flea market. Sunday. High, 85 degrees. Low, 72 degrees. Chance of rain, 60%. Mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon and evening. You will have plenty of time to go to church before the rain moves in. Monday. High, 83 degrees. Low, 70 degrees. Chance of rain, 55%. partly cloudy skies with isolated thunderstorms possible during the afternoon. Start your work week warm and wet. Weekend outlook. Pensacola will experience warm and humid conditions throughout the weekend, with daily chances for showers and thunderstorms. Afternoon storms may produce heavy rain, gusty winds, and lightning. Residents and beach visitors should stay alert for changing weather conditions. June 1st kicks off the official hurricane season. Prepare early by getting that generator service now and stocking up on at least 7 days' worth of food. Stay tuned to WBQP TV 12 and WBQP Radio for continuing weather updates throughout the week and the weekend. Back to you, Vernon.
WBQP TV Radio wants you to be prepared for the hurricane season.
For best in Southern Soul and oldies and goodies music videos, tune to WBQP Radio.
I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I stated together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say together we have made a difference, and we have safer schools, our students are college and career ready, and we've closed the achievement gap. I'm asking for your support to re-elect me, David Williams, as your school board representative for District 3. Please visit my Facebook page as well as my campaign website at davidwilliams3.com. Thank you.
Welcome to WBQP TV, the voice of the Black community. We are your information station. Stay tuned.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right, everybody. Good morning. Morning with Vernon this morning. Good morning. Yes, sir. It is Friday, y'all. It is the weekend, y'all. It is the weekend. So you know, we already said what's the chances of rain. So you can go out there on that beach. I'll tell you what, if you go out there on that beach, it's gonna be crowded out there. It's crowded out there every weekend, y'all. The traffic is, even though we got a new Chappie Jane Bridge. Everybody called it 3 Mile Bridge. It's the official name of it is the Chappie Jane Bridge. So let's get into the habit, y'all. Let's get into the habit of saying we're going across the the General Chappie Jane Bridge this morning. Yes, sir. Every morning that you cross over there. Yeah, we had the news headlines this morning. I just want to give you an overview of what was going on in the headline news this morning. So, but my buddies here got they want to come in and they want to tell you something since today is Friday. Okay, all right, y'all. Here we go.
Live from WBQP News Desk, this is your Headlines News Summary with Vernon Watson.
Good morning. It's Friday, the weekend, and Pensacola are made for each
other, Vernon. Before going to the beach, give us the headlines.
Good morning, Vernon. What are today's headlines for Pensacola and surrounding areas?
All right, y'all. Good morning. Let's start off with the headline. The first headline I want to talk about is we on this retribution tour, y'all, with that crazy ass president of y'all's, okay? Yeah, that crazy ass president. I told you, you won't hear no headline news anywhere else, except for me, okay? But at any rate, that crazy ass president, y'all, now trying to go after the lady that sued him and convicted him for sexual assault. So you need to stay tuned for that story as well. Okay, stay tuned for that story. You're gonna hear a lot more about it. Okay, a lot more about it. Also in the news this morning, the folks over in Santa Rosa County is a little bit perturbed this morning because the Florida Power and Lights helicopter that was spraying, and I guess you ever wondered why over the power lines they don't have trees and vegetations over there? I'm assuming that the question looming with the folks over in Santa Rosa County after they say that family and a beekeeper, family farm and a beekeeper reporting that they got mass animal losses. Okay. And what that means is that they're saying that more than 50 of their chickens was found dead shortly after helicopter sprayed. And a beekeeper also reported losing 75% of uh, her field bees. Bees is important, y'all. Okay, I don't care how insignificant you think a honeybee is. They say it is said. Now I don't know how true it is. They said if the bees went extinct in the world, we wouldn't last more than 17 years, 7 years or 17 years. But in the rate, the Florida Power and Light is under pressure because of the herbicides they're using, I guess, to prevent vegetation. They use it, they say they use it all, they say that whatever's been used is using all across the nation. And so it's been approved, but we will see what happened with that. That's what they do. But anyway, stay tuned. Stay tuned to that story because you're going to hear a lot more about that. Because if in fact the spray that they're using is killing animals, it'll certainly eventually kill people as well, and it would affect not only the chickens and the bees, but everything else around it. So keep your eyes on that story, and we'll report it as we see it. Okay. All right. Let's move on to another story here, if you will. And this has to do with a 15-year-old being charged over in Walton County for attempted murder. Okay. Attempted murder. 15-year-old boy. 15-year-old. Now think about that for a minute. 15-year-old is facing multiple felony charges as a shooting occurred on Thursday over in Santa Rosa County. Conran Harris, I believe is his name, is charged with attempted murder, aggravated battery, tampering with victims, tampering with physical evidence, resisting without violence, possession of a firearm by a minor, and criminal mischief. 15 years old. Think about that for a minute. 15 years old. Now, at the time, it is being reported now. I don't know what all happened, but it's reported that at the time of the shooting, at this time, he believed that the shooting was an isolated incident as a result of a domestic dispute between those parties there. So, but I'm always amazing to hear that these shootings occur. But even though also amazing to hear that they show that I see his pictures of him here. He's a 15-year-old white male with kind of reddish brown hair. They don't have his mug shots like our mug shot be stuck, big old mug shots. But anyhow, it is what it is. So he has been arrested and charged with that. Okay. All right, let's move on to a different story that's not so violent, y'all, if you will. Here, this story here is talking about they're going to have some road closure, which is going to be affecting you if you're going to be in the downtown area because of the Pensacola Grand Fiesta Parade. They're going to close some of the streets so they can have the parade route beginning at 7:00, so they can stage floats and stuff like that, so they can have the Grand Fiesta Parade and in the downtown area there. So if you are residents or you're visitors, just want to remind you, look at the posted signage, and also remember now that certain parking things are prohibited down there. So number one, don't park where you shouldn't be because you get ticketed or you'll get towed. And And number two is that you might get not only that, but you can get blocked in. So just look around. If you're downtown around Roos and Jefferson Street, Main and Garden and in that area, Balin and stuff like that. So you will be forewarned, because they will tow your vehicle if it's found on the parade route. Okay, they got no posting sign posted all around. So don't be a victim. Okay, that's all I'm trying to tell you. Don't be a victim. Let's move on to another story here that has to do with the Pensacola officials is staging an annual surrendering of Pensacola. That's a cute little story here, y'all. Local officials in town. This is kind of an annual tradition that they do to honor the founding of Pensacola by the Spanish conquistadors, or Dan Tristan de Luna, back in 1559, which makes us the very first settlement in the United States. So some people say, well, they try to make the claim that Pensacola is the first city in America, but St. Augustine, Florida, holds that title as I'm speaking. But Pensacola holds the title of being the first settlement. Okay, get the right settlement. So Dan Tristan de Luna came here in 1559, marking the city as America's first European settlement. And so they are doing the reenactment of that. The surrendering of Pensacola kicks off on the 77th annual Fiesta celebration downtown. That's why we had a Fiesta of Five Flags parade downtown, y'all. So be forewarned, okay? Be forewarned. All right, next story here. The next story here is about, we talked briefly about this yesterday, about the West Florida High School esports program, trying to build skills to tie in some high-tech careers going on. So if your children is involved in video games, instead of them involved in those shoot 'em up video games, a lot of them involved in those sports games as well. But since you're gonna do that, use those skills to your advantage. So the folks at the West Florida High School, and they got even a competition going on with it. West Florida High School program is they competing against Florida's virtual high schools, on and across the state, and perhaps even nationwide. And so if you're into that kind of stuff, of your children or your grandchildren and that kind of stuff, maybe you want to get them in something constructive. It's better than having them sitting back in that room just doing video games for no reasons at all. Maybe there is a reason. Maybe they can help their skills as we go along here. All right, y'all, let's go to the next story. So, I guess the question is, what does Trump executive orders that refine mail-in voting, what do you think? What do it mean? I don't know what that man mean. You tell me. The judge said it was too soon to block the order. That's one thing we know, that he put this executive federal judge declined to halt the order, number one, and he said that because it's a little bit too early just yet. It's amazing to me how these sycophants support all the crazy thing that this president is doing, but hey, that's my opinion. So some of the local election officers are assessing what that really means. I wish we had, but I don't think I'd have any impact on Escambia County. But if it does, we got our supervisor election. He will keep us on board. The main thing it's going to affect is our military personnel. Okay, when they usually vote, But this executive order calls for the United Post Office to create a list of eligible voters. Anyone whose name isn't on that list won't receive a mail-in bonus. Crazy ass stuff like that. I don't want to go. If I Trump derangement syndrome begin to act, let me move on to something a little bit more pleasant. You see these cars here, y'all? Well, these are the new cruisers for city of Pensacola. Ain't it pretty? Yeah, it is. It's kind of pretty, ain't it? They go into a new scheme, kind of a gray and black scheme, if you will. And actually, the sheriff department did this probably more than a year or so ago. They, rather than painting the traditional cruiser green and then other colors, kind of a multicolor, they decided they're going to save themselves a lot of money, which is a great thing because they have to pay extra for that extra paint. And so it doesn't matter whether the car is green or blue or yellow. When you pull you over, you're going to still do the same thing. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, the city is also on board now. They're paying a lot less for these cars because they're not paying for this extra paint that they're going in. In fact, they said with this new, they're using these, I guess this is a Ford Explorer look like, but they're using this gray paint, this solid paint, and then they just putting their signs on it. And they say that it's saving the city nearly $9,000 per vehicle when they do that. And more power to you, okay? More power to you. So they're just transitioning from to a silver colored design with the department emblem on it, and that eliminates an additional $1,500 worth of paint expenses that they previously had to do for those traditional black and white vehicles they had before. But you look at them, they look good. It's highly visible. I think it's real nice. I like that design. So the only thing I'm not going to like about it is those blue and red lights what I see in my rear view mirror. That's the only thing that worries me about that car, but I do like the look and design of Pensacola's new car. All right, move on to a different story here. The mayor says that fiber work near homes must be restored within 48 hours. He threw down the gauntlet, okay? The city of Pensacola is trying to work with AT&T and its contractors for a smooth fiber optic installation. They come, these improvements come after residents points out consistent issues with the work done on the right-of-ways near their homes. People hollering. Now, it goes back to what I said earlier, we always complaining about the infrastructure in our backyard, but yet we want the convenience of the benefits of the infrastructure. Fiber is going to change the way we use our internet service. So I ask people, if it were me, be a little bit patient. Of course, if AT&T destroying your property, that's one thing. But let them do the work, and they're mainly doing the works on the right of ways. I think sometime, and I had this happen even in my area. I understand what the residents are saying. They got sprinkler lines and sewer lines and all these other kind of things might get compromised. But if they do, they get compromised. AT&T and all those folks are bound to replace it. But the mayor is saying that they want it done and not to anybody to be inconvenienced more than 48 hours. So keep an eye on that story, if you will. Okay, keep an eye on that story. All right. let's see here. The next story I'm going to talk about is going to get my Trump derangement syndrome kicked in, but that's all right. United States and Iran, they say they reached a tentative agreement, 60-day ceasefire. I don't want to talk about that because it never, it never comes to fruition. Let me talk about something else, okay? For my Trump derangement syndrome thought acting up. Voters, okay, voters voicing their concern over this is over in the Choctawhatchee Bay, amidst Brook Bridge. They're working on over in Okaloosa County. They're working on a project over there, and so again, voters saying that there are three major metal pylons that right in the middle of the bay, and that they can't see at night. So, but those pylons, they are temporarily tie down spots for barges working on the Brook Bridge. Again, I want to go back and reiterate what I said earlier. You know, we lack the convenience of the benefits of what the inconvenience provided. So, but this is temporarily. People whining about it. You know, hey, it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. All right, that's my comment on that. All right, let's go on to another story, if you will. But you read more about it if you vote in Okaloosa County. Read a little bit more about it, if you will. Florida governor lays out a plan to eliminate property taxes long term. Yeah, that's a hot potato right now, y'all. That's a hot potato because even if they did do that, eliminate property taxes, it has a lot more consequences than you think. Okay, and we had the mayor to talk about a little bit of that on this Tuesday because a lot of these local government budgets are dependent upon the money's coming out of your property taxes. And if they eliminate the property taxes, that shortfall has to be made up somewhere else, which is going to raise services and taxes in other places. So let well enough alone. As my grandmama used to always say, let peace be still. Okay, let peace be still. We got a lame duck governor trying to call another legislative session to hammer out a proposal to change the property taxes. Okay. And he called in his proposal to save our home from excessive property tax, SOHEPT, whatever that means. Okay. Now, he's saying it would make the first $250,000 of a homestead exemption value exempt from taxation. Okay. But the current plan only applies to your first $50,000. So DeSantis he says that his plan is to put in place a to try to phase that out completely. Now, also on the DeSantis plan, he wants local governments to be required to use remaining property tax solely for public need. That's including infrastructures and education. Now, in line with that plan would also establish a state trust fund to help local government to continue those core services. So they're definitely trying to address it. But Escambia County did not get a clear understanding or a clear number of what they mean about that. So you're gonna hear a lot more about it. All the counties and local governments are definitely I'm concerned about that. You will hear a lot more coming your way. All right, let's move on over to Orange Beach, Alabama, right next door, y'all. I'm reporting on stuff that they're going to eventually impact us because we're neighbors. The Orange Beach Rescue added a flashover simulator to their firefighting training thing. You said, why do I care? Well, you should care, because these are the things that are going to help save our lives. And why am I reporting it? Because it's in the news. That's why I'm reporting it. You say it's dumb, but these simulators can help us. In fact, you're talking about a simulator. I reported on yesterday about a flight simulator at at the Navy Museum that let you simulate flying with the Blue Angel. Well, this helps firefighters design equipment to help the crews better understand how fire behaves in real time, so it can help save lives and put out fires a lot quicker. The simulator is $132,000. A simulator was approved, with their city budgets. So that is something. Here's a cute little story here, y'all. I think I wish I had the video that go along with this. The what you call it? The camera that they wear, the body cam. The body cam. It's apparently this officer, okay? Apparently this officer pulled over a woman for using her cell phone. He said that he observed her using her cell phone, okay, in her right hand. Okay, this happened down in Palm Beach, Florida, y'all. And so she was issued a citation saying and accusing the woman of holding the phone in her hand, and but the judge dismissed it. You know why? Because the lady ain't got no arms. She just got a stub, if you will. Okay, so the court record shows that she said, I couldn't have held no phone in my right hand because I don't have a right hand. But she got a ticket anyway. So the court shows that they dropped the case against the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office deputy who issued the citation and so forth. So it was kind of cute when she was pulled over. The deputy accused her of violating Florida Wireless. Did you know that we had a Florida Wireless Communication Act while driving law about using a handheld device behind the wheel? I hope you know that. So some folks don't know that. And this case caught national attention because after the woman posted a video on TikTok, and she was trying to tell the deputy that she was not holding. You cannot hold your phone while driving in the state of Florida. She told her. So the deputy told her, no, I saw you with the device in your right hand. He specifically said, I saw you with the device, your phone in your right hand. The woman repeated, no, I did not have a phone in my right hand. I did not. She probably had it in her left hand, but she didn't have it in her right hand. And so he wrote a ticket anyway. He violated, he even quoted a statute, Florida Statute 316.305.33A, which lists wireless communication device handheld while driving. First offense carries a $116 fine. So the video went viral, y'all. It went viral. And however, but when it got to court, it got thrown out when the judge saw the lady did not have a right hand. Okay, she did not have a right hand, and so they threw it out. Now, Florida's wireless communication law, if you will, while driving, drivers took effect back in 2013, and they trying to strengthen it a little bit back in 2019, making texting while driving also an offense. So that means you can be pulled over solely for violating those statutes. One, holding phone while you're driving, because that's why most cars have your Bluetooth in them. So you don't supposed to be driving with your cell phone in your hand, and you're certainly not supposed to be texting while you're driving. So you can get cited either way. But I just brought this story up because I thought it was so cute that he was very emphatic about she was holding her cell phone with her right hand, and where clearly she does not have a right hand. She just only got a stub, and a hand had been removed for whatever the reasons. So officers not always right. Even when he got a body cam and she was showing him on the body cam, but he wrote the citation anyway. All right, here's another crazy story that you're going to hear a lot more about. This one. This has have to be Florida versus Alabama. And I'm not talking about a football team. I'm talking about Pensacola versus Orange Beach. Now, it made news that an sheriff deputy saw a deputy from Orange Beach, Alabama, dropped off a homeless man in Pensacola. And now the sheriffs are getting involved with it. The homeless individual in Alabama, they are alleging homeless people in Alabama are being dropped off in Escambia County by the Orange Beach police. So, sheriff, I got the sheriff on this morning. That you know I'm talking. You don't have to ask him about this, right? I don't have to ask him about it. So let me get this Chip Simmons. I don't have to ask Chip about this. Okay, they got a picture of a patrol car and an officer who says that he was what he called homeless dumping. What that means is that they driving folks over from Orange Beach, Alabama. Maybe they don't want those kind of folks in Orange Beach. Maybe, I don't know, but they driving them over here and dropping them off just like you would drive your pet somewhere and drop your pet off. You know, and I think it's kind of cute, kind of funny. So Sheriff Simmons start questioning why Alabama agencies are not providing their own homeless services, because we have to provide services for those folks anyway. So Sheriff Chip Simmons said we're not gonna let you just be using Escambia County as a dumping ground for your homeless people. You keep your own homeless people there. He didn't say that, but you know what I'm saying. You know how to make it dramatic anyway. But I'm gonna talk to the sheriff about that at 8:30. And they call this, I think they call this homeless dumping. And it's not only a problem here in Escambia County and Orange Beach, in which is Orange Beach is in Baldwin County, Alabama, but it's kind of a problem countywide and nationwide. He said that Orange Beach police officer in a marked cruiser dropped off a homeless man at the waterfront mission and gave him $20 and drove away. So I can't wait to see what Sheriff Simmons had to say about that story this morning. All right, now, can I tell you about either another crazy story? Woo, Lord. I got here, y'all buckle your seatbelt up. Buckle your seatbelt up for this story here I'm about to tell you. You probably already heard about it, but this is a federal judge, y'all. A federal judge was accused of having sex in the chambers while with a high-ranking police officer. You hear me? Yeah, y'all like this juicy stuff. Me too. Because you know I'm messy and I love to have messy news. So if you want to hear the messy news, come to me. Okay. But anyway, a federal judge now is accused of having sex in the chambers with a high-ranking police officer. And they've said that this judge is accused of these people are accused of extramarital affair with the high-ranking police officer and having sex in the chambers during business hours. Ooh, it's getting juicy here. The allegation was detailed in a report that was recently released by the Committee on Judicial Conduct and Disability of the Judicial Conference of the U.S. They say that the judge and the officer allegedly engaged in inappropriate behaviors roughly over a 2-year period. And they say that the affair created an uncomfortable and troubling workplace environment for the law clerks and court employees who say that they overheard sounds coming from the chamber. I bet you that wasn't the only thing coming in that chamber, But anyway, and I know they, I know it probably interrupt the workplace because people stopped from their desk and probably went to the door and started listening. But oh, but they didn't identify the judge, but and I wondered too when they did that. I wondered too, these people black, and guess what? Ta-da! Jesus, help me. Help me. Okay. Help me. Yeah. This is reported, what they're saying is reported. So I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, this is misconduct. That what they call it, a misconduct investigation. And they found the judge also did some other things, when I had an old commander when I was in the military used to say, don't let them start looking up your dress, okay? Because they're gonna find more than your drawers missing, okay? So that's what they found when that went. Then they found her attending partial political events and making false statements in some other inquiries, and but of course she denied. They all denied it. But anyhow, keeping eyes on that story. Now, a sad story about it. The woman's a black woman. Okay, the judge is a black woman, and they didn't name the officer, but he's a high-ranking official. And but she was appointed. This judge was appointed as a judge in the Northern District of Georgia, and was appointed by President Obama, y'all. I thought you figured you would hear that some of that juicy news. All right, speaking of other stupid news this morning, I know you heard yesterday that they're trying to put Donald Trump name and face on a $250 bill, okay? A $250 bill, which we never had before. They're going to print a special $250 bill so he can put his face on it. And why in the hell he want his name and face on every damn thing? I got a toilet seat. You can put your face in my toilet, okay? You marking to do that. All 4 or 5 of them I got in my house. I'll just paint your face right down in the bottom of my toilet seat, okay? Down in my toilet, you're welcome to put your face there. But anyway, we got a law in this country that no living president, no living person can be on a bill, okay, on any money. So they're gonna try to get this sycophant Congress to change the law so that this could happen for him. And they saying this is in honor of 250 year of celebration of this country. Now you want to bet the 200-year celebration gonna end up being a birthday party for him. His birthday happened to be June 4th, which happened to be on Flag Day. But he's gonna make this 250-year anniversary of the country is about him. You want to bet me? What you want to bet? Okay, I bet you that what will happen. All right, y'all. I done had enough fun for the day for the news. Y'all know me. That's the kind of news that you can use. It's kind of messy news, the messy news that I like to give you. All right, so you're never gonna find it anywhere else other than right here. My news, I told you, my news come with commentary. You're not gonna hear Sue Strong or anybody else report it the way I report it. But I'm just trying to tell you what's in the news and my little 2 cents. The CNN can put their little 2 cents on it. Fox can put their little 2 cents on it. I put it on mine, but I just want to just caution you. I don't know how much fun I have with the news. Seriously, some of this, a lot of this stuff is serious stuff. So treat your news like you treat everything else. Okay, find out more than just one source of your news, because in this day and time, you just can't always trust what you see and what you read in one source. Verify, do your news checking for other sources. If you can hear the same news clip from 2 or 3 different other sources the same way, then you might want to be able to trust this news. And like I said, if you get your local news from WAR, WKRG, WALA, Fox 10, or wherever whatever the news source or the Pensacola News Journal, whatever your credible news source that you've been doing, get it, because we all get it the same way, okay? And so, but read it, but just don't trust one source of news, okay? That's all I'm saying to you. All right, y'all, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, y'all. But when I come back from the commercial break, y'all, we're going to be, hopefully, I'm trying to get a little Black history fact, little Black history facts in before we get our guests on today. And I also want to talk about a little bit of some public service announcement. And about 7:45, hopefully we're going to get Miss Sandra Fay on to talk about the herbs. And at 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Reverend Marcel Davis, y'all, about Juneteenth. And following that, hopefully we will be talking to Sheriff Chip Simmons. And I sure want to ask him about this homeless homeless situation that that's been happening here. But other than that, y'all, just stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it.
For 35 years, WBQP TVV Radio has been the unwavering voice of the Black community on the Gulf Coast. Your community information station. WBQP has been the voice of the Black community on the Gulf Coast for 35 years.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
Since 1951, we've been here for our local community, creating pathways to care. We meet you where you are, with trusted doctors in convenient locations throughout the area. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
For best in Southern Soul and oldies and goodies music videos, tune to WBQP Radio.
Day or night, your loved ones show up for you. At HCA Florida Healthcare, we do too. Because you're the center of our family, Florida's largest healthcare family. And you'll feel it in everything we do. HCA Florida Healthcare. We show up for you.
Need a new outfit for a special occasion? Look no further than Viola's Men's Apparel. Viola's has been providing the latest styles and accessories in Pensacola for over 20 years now. We have clothes for every occasion, and we offer consultations and group discounts. You can trust that our care, quality, and class will be unmatched. Viola's Men's Apparel, for all of your menwear needs.
Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home has been in business since 1913. Hi, I'm David Hawkins, the owner of Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, saying we are a full-service funeral home. We offer pre-need funeral planning. We have a newly remodeled chapel and conference facility. Stop by and see us today. We have 9 vehicles, all waiting to service you. At Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, we appreciate your stopping by. On behalf of all of our family here at Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, thank you so much for allowing our family to serve you.
WBQP is the voice of the Black community, your information station.
So what day is the meeting? Fun day.
With daily draw games starting at $1, every day shall henceforth be known as Fun Day.
Every day's Fun Day with Pick Games, featuring drawings twice a day. The Florida Lottery. It's good fun.
You are listening and watching WBQP TV and radio. Keep it locked.
What is your story? It may take time to find it. You may even question if you have one worth telling. But when all seems lost, your story finds you. Because you don't need permission. Just a place. And we'll be waiting. The American Black Film Festival. Everyone has a story. Yours belongs here.
WBQP TV and WBQP Radio are the voice of the Black community in Pensacola.
I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I stated together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say together we have made a difference, and we have safer schools, our students are college and career ready, and we've closed the achievement gap. I'm asking for your support to re-elect me, David Williams, as your school board representative for District 3. Please visit my Facebook page as well as my campaign website at davidwilliams3.com. Thank you.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Good morning. This is J.O. Gatson of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida. And we've come to pray with you on this Faithful Friday, TGIF Friday. And we're just grateful to the Lord that he has seen fit to see us through. Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come praying words of prayer, sacred words of prayer, and to say thank you because we love you. We thank you for this Faithful Friday because you brought us right up to the weekend. And we owe it all to you. We've gone through lots this week, dear God, but we owe it all to you. And thank you for bringing us thus far. And Lord, we pray that you'll prepare our hearts for Sunday's worship, the Sabbath, and that you'll vow in our hearts to be all that you would have us to be, that we will come together as saints on Sunday in our designated places of worship. Lord, this is our prayers. We pray in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, the only God we know. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good morning, Vernon. They say Pensacola and the weekends are made for each other. Well, this is your WBQP weekend weather forecast to help you plan your weekend. Friday. High, 84 degrees. Low, 73, 84 degrees. Chance of rain, 70%. Mostly cloudy and humid with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. Heavy rainfall may lead to localized flooding in low-lying areas. Don't forget your raincoat. Saturday. High, 85 degrees. Low, 71 degrees. Chance of rain, 50%. Warm and humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms are possible. You can still have a good day at the flea market. Sunday. High, 85 degrees. Low, 72 degrees. Chance of rain, 60%. Mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon and evening. You will have plenty of time to go to church before the rain moves in. Monday. High, 83 degrees. Low, 70 degrees. Chance of rain, 55%. Partly cloudy skies with isolated thunderstorms possible during the afternoon. Start your work week warm and wet. Weekend outlook. Pensacola will experience warm and humid conditions throughout the weekend, with daily chances for showers and thunderstorms. Afternoon storms may produce heavy rain, gusty winds, and lightning. Residents and beach visitors should stay alert for changing weather conditions. June 1st kicks off the official hurricane season. Prepare early by getting that generator service now and stocking up on at least 7 days worth of food. Stay tuned to WBQP TV 12 and WBQP Radio for continuing weather updates throughout the week and the weekend. Back to you, Vernon.
WBQP TV Radio wants you to be prepared for the hurricane season.
For 35 years, WBQP TVV Radio has been the unwavering voice of the Black community on the Gulf Coast, your community information station.
You are watching WBQP TV and radio. Tune in every Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. Keep it locked.
Welcome to WBQP TV, the voice of the Black community. We are your information station. Stay tuned.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right. Good morning with Vernon, y'all. Hopefully we're gonna be having Miss Valerie on in just a few minutes, y'all. She's going to be coming on, and we're going to be following her. It's going to be Reverend Marcel Davis, and following Reverend Marcel Davis, we're going to be talking to Sheriff Chip Simmons. But in the meantime, y'all, let's go over some of the some community news that you could use. What I call public service announcement. Let me work my way through here, okay? If you will, public service announcement. They got a smooth dance class here with DJ Tony Anderson and Sugar Bear. They're gonna have you stay tuned for that. I don't know what date that he gave me on that, but anyway, I need to pass this on as well. The Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority is having a non-partisan political forum and a meet and greet the candidates night. It's going to be Saturday, tomorrow at Talbot Chapel, y'all. Talbot Chapel AM. They're going to start at 2 o'clock, going to run from 2 to 5 p.m. Y'all. So if you want to RSVP, you most certainly welcome to do that as well. Also, next, really quickly here is the Zetas Go Green. You know, they're going to have for their mental health community thing, they're going to do their march. That was, they should have did that march yesterday. Yesterday was the 28th. So I'm a day late and $1 short on that because they was on here last week talking about that event as well. Also, another event that you might want to keep your eyes on here is what we call the babies, what you call it? The babies, Beat for Babies. That's going to be fun. It's just going to be an R&B bingo that they're going to have. which is going to be on June 6th at 3 o'clock. So you make sure that you put that on your calendar as well, okay? Also, not only do you have your Beats for Babies, you're going to have a similar, somebody got a similar groove going on here. You're going to, let me see what the date is on this. This is June 6th as well, okay? On June 6th, it's going to be at It's Personal by Sheila's on 2610 Cervantes Street. Also, y'all, I'm just going to throw this in. Mr. Farrakhan, he's an idol of mine, but he's turning 93 years old. So happy birthday to Minister Farrakhan. All right, so let's get back to some more community news here. The second annual Community Love Fest, Love Affair block party with Dr. Steele is going to put that on your calendar for January the 27th, okay, for January the 27th. There's also is a birthday bash, if you will, at the Speakeasy for my good buddy, the real Sunshine, Miss Sunshine Night. It's going to be Saturday, June 13th. Y'all need to come on out and support Sunshine in her endeavors there. All right, let's move on to this event. Here is a retirement party for Mrs. Claudia Williams. It's going to be on June 13th as well at the Hilton Garden Inn. So happy birthday, Miss Claudia Williams. Okay. All right. Another event here you need to put on your calendar called the Diligent Act of Love for Haitians. Okay. They got an event going on Sunday, June 7th at 6 p.m. at the Pensacola Karen Hart location. This is an annual evening gospel concert that you definitely don't want to miss out on. All right. Also here is you definitely want to put this on your calendar. It's called the Black Crown Awards. Okay. The Black Crown Award. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be at the, what's the name of that center down there? Grotto Hall. They're going to be down at the Grotto Hall Center there. Okay, keep your eyes on that. Put those on your calendar. This is going to be out towards it later on into the year, but certainly is an important event dealing with Mamie Hickson, the Pink in the City event. So make sure you put that on your calendar. Now, you do nothing else. You make sure that you put this on your calendar. And this is the 10th anniversary of the Real Women Radio. Okay, and they're going to have their event over at the 850 event center. It's going to be on June 13th at 11 o'clock. This is a great event that you definitely want to not miss out on. Okay, grown folks, y'all. It's a grown folk family reunion down at Sanders Beach on July 25th. Put that on. You're gonna have old school music, 70s, 80s, and 90s music on there. So put that on your calendar. Gay Valamont wants you to make sure that she's in it to rent it. Okay, and excuse me, I talked about this already about the Pink in the City. Y'all excuse me. Wow. Excuse me. I'm sorry. But anyway, that's the Pink in the City event. Okay. Also, Beat for Babies. I think we talk about that already, the Beats for Babies. If we have not talked about the Beats for Babies, it's going to be on June 6th as well for the R&B bingo. Yeah, we did talk about that. A lot of stuff is going on in the Escambia and also with Escambia County, so we want to get that on. Also, do not forget the jazz show coming up on Labor Day weekend with Andre Knight. And then, we got the other jazz thing going on, I believe, in later on in September, I believe it is. Okay. And hopefully we can, you can put all that on your calendar. Okay, put all of that on your calendar and see. Now we are supposed to be talking to Miss Valerie. Boy, Valerie, are you there? I was hoping that she was coming on. Maybe she's out. Maybe she's on vacation today. If she is, she was going to talk about the herb of the week. Okay, the herb of the week. So I'm waiting on her to check in with me. And as soon as she checks in with me, we will get her on. But in the meantime, they give me a little bit of time now. It is I believe it's 7:51, and I want to be able to talk a little bit about some black history, if you will. Okay, some black history. You know, folks, we talk a lot about what's happening in our world and in the Black history moments, y'all, that we want people to understand and that they should know your Black history, because if you don't know your Black history, you might be doomed to repeat it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. So if you will, and if you can, I want to go over some Black history facts. We've been doing a series with Dr. Henry Gates, okay, and he talked about Black history. I want to talk, and we talked about many subjects about Black history, and also I want you to think about this for a minute as well, as we coming up on our 250th birthday of this nation. I want you to imagine America without Black contribution and Black participation. Can you imagine what this country would be like without our contribution and our commitment? Now, one of the things we talked on a lot of subjects about Black history. We talked about Frederick Douglass. We talked about the Harriet Tubman. We talked about Mrs. Henrietta Lacks, Madam C.J. Walker, Malcolm X, Mamie Till, Marcus Garvey, Maya Angelou, Jesse Jackson, everything. And we talked about movements like the Red Summer, and we talked about folks like Mrs. Shirley Chisholm in the political arena. But one of the things that we have not talked about, the influence of the Black church. Okay, the influence of the Black church in our environment. So let's have Dr. Gates, if you will. We're going to talk about, but just for a couple of minutes before we can get our special guest on at 8 o'clock. I want to talk about a little bit about the Black church. Okay.
Christianity and slavery were long intertwined. While masters believed that their religion could be used to pacify their slaves, African Americans transformed Christianity and created a new culture that would serve as the foundation of their freedom struggle.
The oldest independent African-American denomination is the African Methodist Episcopal Church, founded in Philadelphia in 1794 by Richard Allen, the formerly enslaved Black man who purchased his own freedom.
Black religious leaders such as Reverend Allen took a strong abolitionist stance, even helping slaves escape through the Underground Railroad. During the Civil War, some served as army chaplains. And once the war ended, many mobilized Black political participation. Some even held public office.
The Black church provided leadership opportunities for men and women who, by and large, were in subservient positions in the workforce. And so all of these preachers doing work in the Black church have been critical to giving Black people a space to envision that a different world is possible.
The late 1800s saw a dramatic proliferation of black churches, and the church remained central to black life through the 20th century, particularly at the height of the civil rights movement.
In the 1960s, the church is playing a much more overtly militant and political role in terms of trying to organize people to defeat Jim Crow, end racism, and also to promote economic equality.
The tradition of black religious leaders shepherding the freedom struggle reached its pinnacle, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King fused religion, nonviolent resistance, and the prophetic tradition to challenge Jim Crow, while invoking the musical legacy of the spirituals that enslaved African Americans had created. Today, the black church remains a fundamentally important institution in the black community.
The black church has had to be everything to black people because American society was unwilling to do so. Today, we don't need the church to do the same things for us, but do I think the church is still a relevant institution? Absolutely. It is the place that you can come and rebuild your spirit after you deal with the spiritual assault on black life that many African Americans experience because of enduring histories of racism and discrimination.
All righty. That was Dr. Henry Gates and the influence of the where are you? Okay, the influence of the black church. Okay, the influence of the black church. We should be talking to Dr. Marcel Davis, y'all, in just a few minutes about Juneteenth. Okay, if you will, about Juneteenth. Dr. Marcel Davis, good morning. I'm doing good. I need you to zoom in. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, thank you. But anyway, we have Dr. Marcel Davis, y'all. He's going to come in. He's going to talk about Juneteenth, y'all. And we got Juneteenth. If you don't know what the meaning of Juneteenth is, we certainly will in just a few minutes. While we're waiting on him to come in, before I finish up Juneteenth, I want to talk about, May is Memorial Day and the influence of our influence in the military. Okay, so before we get Dr. Marcel on, maybe I can squeeze in, have Dr. Gates to squeeze in and talk about the history of the black soldier. Okay, and then we'll get Dr. Marcel Davis in.
African Americans have fought in every major war the United States has waged since its founding. For centuries, they've proudly and valiantly answered the call to military service, giving true meaning to the word patriotism. Soon after the first shots of the Civil War were fired, enslaved black people started heading for Union Army lines. In doing so, they helped to force the issue of emancipation onto the nation's agenda.
It's not clear the Union is winning the war before the Emancipation Proclamation. And so this added force of 200,000 African Americans who wind up serving is crucial to the Union edge in coming to victory over the Confederacy.
Despite the Union's victory in the Civil War, within a few decades after emancipation, Jim Crow segregation pervaded every aspect of American society, and the military was no exception.
During World War I, enlisted black soldiers served in segregated units and were generally treated as inferior to their white counterparts.
Still, when World War II erupted 2 decades later, African Americans mobilized once again.
The war emboldened African Americans who are fighting overseas and those who are left behind to demand victory over fascism abroad and victory over racism at home.
Shortly after World War II ended, mounting pressure from the black press, the black public, and civil rights leaders pushed President Harry Truman to issue an executive order desegregating the United States Armed Forces in 1948. African Americans went on to fight with honor in every subsequent war in which the United States has been involved. In 1991, the heroic service of black soldiers came into sharp focus when Vietnam War veteran Colin L. Powell became the first African American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And in 2020, the United States Senate confirmed General Charles Brown Jr. as the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force, the first black service member to lead one of the nation's military branches. Still, while more than 40% of active duty service members today are men and women of color, the upper ranks of the nation's military remain predominantly white and male. The long history of black military service demands much more. African Americans have always willingly and courageously answered the call to duty, and all levels of our military should honor those sacrifices, reflecting the full range of diversity in the phrase, "We the people."
All right, y'all. That was Black History in 2 minutes with Dr. Henry Gates talking about black military leaders as we wrap up May, which is Memorial Day, and for the few facts that people don't know, that black folks was responsible for having Memorial Day. We were the very first people that started observing Memorial Day strictly after the Civil War for those soldiers, for the unknown soldiers. All right, now June, we're going into June, which is for us is another big exciting month. Juneteenth marked the day on June 19th, y'all, when I believe a general rode into Texas, okay, with some federal troops up in Galveston in 1865 to take control of the state, to tell the folks in 1865 that they was free 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And so we've been observing Juneteenth ever since. And locally here, we have been doing it. And I got Dr. Marcel Davis on with me this morning. And he's going to be with us, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do locally on Juneteenth. Good morning, Reverend Marcel Davis. How you doing, my man?
Man, I'm well, sir. How are you doing this morning?
It's good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. I rejoice, man. We woke up this morning, so I'm exceedingly happy.
Absolutely. You're a man about town. Every time I turn around, I always have to, I call Ellison Bennett, Mr. Community. I might have to pull that Tyler call. Every time I turn around, your face is everywhere you involved. And that's a good thing, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, I'm not tired yet. So many people that went before me, great people who did great work. So I'm just doing minimum to their works. But, the fight is never over. The struggle is only won when we all win. So, I have to constantly remind myself that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and he has not quit claim deeded to anyone or any person. So I've got to keep working to make things happen for all people. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about Unifest.
Okay. Unity Fest came about from the mere fact that I was talking with my friend Troy Rafferty, and he said, let's do something that unites the community around Juneteenth. So we came up with Unity Fest, and we got to plan it. And, so we came up with a planning committee, but we said we wanted to do something different, but we want to be reminded of where we came from and why we got to this point. So we talked about the church has always been the centerpiece of what a community used to do. There was at one time we couldn't go to parks, we couldn't go to beaches, but we could go to the church, we could go to the churchyard. And I know that you probably remember this. Everybody would open up their trunks and have some food in there that they would give to the people. So I don't know how those black ladies did it, but everything would be hot. They didn't have Sternos and all these fancy bags that they have, but everything would still be hot. That chicken would still be hot. That macaroni and cheese, everything would still be hot. So we came up with the fact that we're going to do Unity Fest centered around the community again. And then, so we came up with no vendors selling paraphernalia or anything like that because we wanted people to bring their children and not feel obligated to have to buy anything. Nobody having to buy food from off the food trucks. You just get a ticket and you get your food. That's the way the church used to be. So we
Right.
came up with, we need to rejoice, reflect, and remember. And so we rejoice in the fact that in 1865, 250 slaves was free in Texas after we had been free in 1863 on that watch night eve when slavery and emancipation started. So our celebration is geared on more of a community celebration where all races are included to come out and celebrate, all denominations, all faith background, come out that day and just have a fun fellowship on that day. So that's how UniFest came about. And then we made it theme oriented, where we have over 38 vendors that will be there. All these vendors are going to display the services that they offer to the community. If it's healthcare, if it's mental health, whatever the services that you might need. Not on that, a lot of people come and showcase their business because a lot of people don't know that we have a African American young lady who's a doctor, a medical doctor, but she also makes healthy dog snacks. We're gonna have, yeah, which is just amazing to see. And so, like a lot of people have come to UniFest and came in as a free vendor, gave out their products, and now their business has boomed. Like we have Tequila Hope, she has a spa truck, which now is crossover where the whole community call her for birthday parties, white and black. So it's just an expression where we all come together that day. There will be health screening. There will even be eye screening. You're going to be able to get some dental health, but as well as you're going to learn out some services that take place in Pensacola that you might not know of. So that's why we call it Unity Fest, and that's how Unity Fest was birthed.
Okay, we're very good. I'm glad to know that. Listen, while I got you on the horn, I need to get Mr. Rafferty on here as a guest. Okay, can you make that happen for me?
I could make that happen, yes, sir.
Okay, because he have done so much good in our community. I know he's involved with that MLK event in January. He involved with the Fred Levin Fest. He involved with the Juneteenth Fest, and I don't know what all the other stuff he's involved with.
Right.
But we need to get his face in front of our community and thank him for all that he's doing in this community when he does not have to do it. But in particularly Reverend Marcel, and this time that we face today in this administration, I think it's more important that we show people that we do have people of goodwill, okay, good order. So I would love to get him on as a guest, okay?
Sure. I'll say this about Troy. He has the heart for the community, and he realized that right now that trial lawyers are really the civil rights leaders right now because our neighborhoods have been targeted with overpricing of insulin. Our neighborhoods has been targeted with water crisis, unclean water. Our neighborhood has been targeted with overdose of drugs from opioids and other things. So Troy has been the forefront and forerunner on these projects that really has violated the civil rights of all people. So it's like he calls it causes, not cases. And so what it does is it helps a community that might have a disadvantage to get an advantage, that they've been wrong. They've been misdiagnosed. Even the fact with Depo-Provera, which has been known now to target young African American ladies and the cause and effects on that. So Troy really works real hard to make sure that the civil rights of all people are still recognized and overcome. So thank you for that. And I'll definitely talk with him. He's in Savannah today, but we'll definitely get on your show real soon, Mr. Watson, and talk about
make it sooner than later, because
yes, sir.
we would love to have him on. I tell you, I like to highlight people that is they're doing something for us, for our community. And I think he's one of those unsung heroes. I think he do a lot of things in the background that we take for granted. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes, sir.
now this unit, talk to us about, give us the time and date and stuff like this on this event again, so that people can put it on the mark the calendar, folks.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. So, as my friend Victor Smith would say, I'm so glad that you have Unity Fest Juneteenth on the day of, which is June the 19th. It's the day of Unity Fest. It kicks off at 12 o'clock. This year's theme is going to be all about music that brought us over, from gospel to soul to R&B to the music of the 60s to the music of the 70s, with the staple singers. We're going to have all type of music. We're going to have dance groups this year, from 850 Soul Steppers are going to be there. Connect dancers are going to be there. A couple of young groups are going to be there. So we'll have a lot of live entertainment. It'll be June 19th from 12 to 3, and we block off the street at C and Government Street. So we'll block off Government Street, we'll block off C Street. There'll be plenty of places for you to find parking down there. Don't get discouraged by some of the utility work that's going down there. We'll have a kid zone with a petting zoo and a kid zone. Kids who can even have the meal that the adults have, or they'll have hamburgers and hot dogs for them. The adults will have fish and shrimp and fries. Also, they have fried chicken, collard greens, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, red beans and rice. You have loaded fries, loaded nachos. You have a pork chop meal, pork chop, collard greens, macaroni and cheese. You have this year we're expanding to bring in our international partners. You have the Taste of Bahamas. You have some Bahamian food. Last year we had Taste of Jamaica. They'll be back this year, and all the meals are free. And then the celebration will climax at 3 o'clock. We will just have a big bang music from 3 to 4. 4, everything will be shut down. So that will be at 920 West Government Street, the corner of Government C, on June the 19th, the actual day, from 12 to 3.
Wow. Okay. On June 19th. All right. So, folks, I hope you got that down. Now, let's talk about why it's important that we celebrate Juneteenth. And I think during the Biden administration, I believe it was, that we enacted Juneteenth as a national holiday for us. And so you'll be off that day, folks. Most folks will be off that day. So there's no reason not to come downtown and hit C Street. But let's talk about why it's important that we celebrate Juneteenth. You know, folks, for you, just a little bit of history, and I know Reverend Davis knows this, but and he just talked about it just earlier. The Emancipation Proclamation was passed in 1863. 1863. But it wasn't until 1865 where General Gordon Granger rode into Texas, and Galveston, Texas, by the way, with his General Order Number 3. He rode in on June 19th, 1865, and declared more than 250,000 enslaved people in the state of Texas to be free. And so they have been celebrating, and be honest with you, they have been celebrating Juneteenth for it's our 250 years as well. Not only the nation's birthday, but it's also, we've been celebrating from that day on. It didn't catch on widely until, you know, to the last half of this century here. It started picking up momentum. I first heard, I don't know about you, but I didn't hear about Juneteenth until the late 70s, early 80s time frame. When did you first hear about Juneteenth?
That's when I heard about it. I heard about it in the 80s when we started. So, you know, watch night service, which was really the time that we celebrated for the release of slavery, the emancipation. Okay, so I remember as a kid, now that I'm into this Juneteenth celebrating, I remember as a kid that we used to have a red drink after we left church. My mom would make a red Creole type gumbo. Everybody would come and gather at our house. My grandmother made homemade wine, so the men would drink the red homemade wine. We would have red velvet cake. We would have these hibiscus drinks and all that. But we did that after watch night service. The fried chicken and collard greens that day, we would sit there and eat all day long. It was a celebration, not just going to church and telling God, thank you for another year, but we were being thankful that we were free. It was called Freedom Eve. Then now in Juneteenth, we do the same thing. We celebrate the all people being free from that point. So Juneteenth really did not spread across the country till like the late 80s, Mr. Watson, and then early 90s. And then, so, people in Texas have always celebrated it. And then, so now it has just become a national holiday. Thank goodness to President Biden for signing it, making it a national holiday.
Yeah. Marcel, I was in the military. I was in the Air Force when I first heard about it. And my job was, I was in personnel. I was a personnel officer, but my job was equal opportunity and so forth. And we had an incident that happened at Kelly Air Force Base. And so they called and said, you got to go down and investigate this case where we had an incident at a picnic on Kelly Air Force Base. And what happened? They said, well, these people were celebrating Juneteenth, and the guy, one of the service members, thought it was funny, put on a sheet in a pillowcase and drove through the event. Okay. And so you need to go down and investigate that. And I said, what was a Juneteenth celebration? I thought it was just a regular picnic.
Right.
But when I went there, I really was educated in terms of what Juneteenth really was. And I was very enlightened about that. Now, but we're going to have to give Dr. Oprah Lee a lot of credit for getting this as a national holiday, because she was an educator down in Texas. So she was considered the grandmother, if you will, of Juneteenth, in order to get this led to a holiday. She was 89 years old when they considered what they call an Oprah walk, where she decided that she's going to walk 2.5 miles a day, and that kind of symbolizes the 2.5 years it took the news to get to Texas. And so that caught on momentum, and eventually it caught on nationwide enough interest that they got the attention of the Biden administration to pass this as a national holiday, which I think is rightfully so, as a national holiday. So, but it's a lot of history we need to know. We need to learn our history. And Marcel, one of the things I do on here every day, I try to get us at least one bit of Black history so that we can know our history.
Yeah. Well, I do have a binder prepared for you. That either I'm going to meet you to get it, you're going to swing by my office and get it. But let's talk about that point. So there's three highlight words that we use to celebrate Juneteenth Unity Fest, and that is rejoice, reflect, and remember. We rejoice for the fact that we've been recognized as a human in the Constitution, where we wasn't recognized as being human. We rejoice in the fact that it's a miracle. We didn't get our 40 acres and a mule, but look at what we did without getting any type of help. We didn't have corporate welfare like some people did with the GI Bill and the different bills that was passed to help people get ahead and make things happen. Out of nothing, we became something. Then we have to get our children to reflect on that. Remember your history. Remember where you came from. Remember that you're strong people. Remember that no matter what nobody says, that all things are possible. We can reflect on that. And let's reflect on it is that we didn't just do it by ourselves. There were some people that had the human tenacity to look and say, what we're doing is wrong. And so they work with us to help us to get at that. And then we have to remember that if we forget our history, it repeats itself. I never thought I would live where I see people trying to reverse the Voting Rights Act, where they're trying to build up Jim
Wow.
Crow 2.0. So we have to remember, if we don't know our history, then we'll fall behind. And I think that we've been asleep at the wheel. And as we've been asleep at the wheel, we've got to remember we can't be asleep. We must always strive for the mark of the prize of the high calling. So there was a Texas representative by the name of Albert Edwards. He said, every year we must remind generations that the event triggered a series of events that one day, by one defined the challenges and responsibilities of successful generations. That's why we need this holiday. We have to remind ourselves that we are successful, but we can't just lay down and stop being successful. And we've seen a moral decline in our neighborhoods, not only our neighborhoods, we've seen a moral decline in the highest office, the presidency. We've seen a big moral decline in that. We can't allow that to happen. No matter how much they decline, we have to strive on the fact that we can make it and we can do it in spite of all of our odds. So, it's important, as you said, Mr. Watson, it's important, as you said, we've got to remember this. But as we remember it, so many kids say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about slavery." No, no, no. We have to rejoice that out of coming over thousands of miles on slave ship, we still made it, and we're still progressing. We came over thousands of miles on slave ships, but we take Katherine Johnson, who taught us how to get millions of miles into space without any incidents and bring us back home safely. We talk about how we don't want to talk about slavery, but we talked about George Washington Carver, who came up with all kinds of inventions out of slave ground of planting peanuts. We talk about how these things have to be rejoiced and reflected on, how, in spite of how they oppressed us, we look to God and we made something happen. So we must continue to rejoice, to reflect, and remember.
Absolutely. Today is tomorrow. When the June 1st is starting tomorrow, on Monday, right? June 1st
Yes,
is
sir.
starting on Monday.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
folks, and we definitely don't want to forget our history. I got a mantra I bring up every morning, that I say, either learn our history. This is what I put up every day. Black history. You learn it or repeat it.
That's
And
it.
then apparently we have had, with this administration, that if you don't learn it, okay, we definitely going to be repeating, because of they're trying to repeal and go back to, like, what you call it, Jim Crow 2.0.
Jim Crow 2.0.
Jim Crow 2.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Crow 2.0. Wow.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we have to realize that even now they're looking at our single districts, trying to get rid of single districts in our area. We won't have a black representation if they get rid of single districts, if they make it all enlarged. We've got to take this serious. We have to rejoice, reflect, and remember. We don't have to go that far back, Mr. Watson. We can go back to people like Sam Horton, Clifford Stokes, those guys who sued to give us these single districts, took it all the way to the Supreme Court. And some mechanics that worked on NAS Pensacola had the nerve to go all the way to the Supreme Court. And guess what? They didn't let nothing stop them until they got this passed so that we could have representation. Then Willie Jr. became the first county commissioner out of that lawsuit. And then now we have Commissioner Llewellyn May that's filling that seat. But we have to be supportive of him and the other black candidates that we might maintain this seat. And you see that there's already talk about going back to court trying to get this reversed. We, as the people, cannot let this happen. Black, white, brown, green, whatever color you are, we're all precious in God's sight, and we have to work our way to make sure that we maintain this. And how we do it is by us coming together. Each one teach one, and that's why we call it Unity Fest. There's more that unites us than what divides us. And we cannot let, when I hate to just overtalk so much, but when I think about the Hart Museum, which is on NAS Pensacola, it's been open about 2 years now, where my great grandfather they built the lighthouse. They were lighthouse keepers, and in one of the segments of that history, they said that the community got along very good. White and black people got along very good back in the early 1900s. But it was one bad apple that came in and sowed discord to say you're better than them, which caused a division. From out of the division, you know what? It didn't stop them. They got together and they went downtown and they built the blocks. Okay, they built the economic development there. So how did they do it? By unifying themselves, by not letting what people think should divide us, but come together as one. So that's why it's so important to me in the investment. There's an investment that takes place in our UniFest. There's an investment to invite 2,000 people down and feed them because we're sowing the seed to say, listen, we're in this together. And that's what Jesus did. He fed the masses so that they can go out and spread good news. He didn't feed the masses for them to go out and tell bad news, but he fed the masses that they might go back and tell good news that, hey, we're going to make it. So Mr. Washington, man, I'm just excited just to talk to you this morning about some of the stuff that's on my heart and why Unity Fest Juneteenth celebration is so important to me to bring the community together.
Yeah, how long UniFest been in existence?
This will be our fourth year. This will be our fourth year.
Okay, who brainchild was it?
It was the brainchild for me and Troy. Just we were riding back and forth to Tallahassee a lot because we were working on the Dozier Boys case. So as Troy was working on the Dozier Boys case, we were riding. He was just like, sometime when he wakes up and say, "Good pastor," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Let's have a hog roast for Juneteenth." And I said, "No, let's do something deeper. Let's have UniFest." So it was like a couple of weeks I got with Dr. Michael Roberts, who was the principal at Washington High School at that time. And I said, "Doc, I need your help to come up with something." So we pulled together a committee. And I said, "Doc, if you work on the committee and the program, I'll work on getting the vendors and the food." And so that's how it all started. And from there, we just have a theme every year to rejoice, to reflect, and to remember. And it has worked out. It's a great, what's so great about it, Vernon? To see the old be able to sit up in the tent and talk to the young and talk about, how they made it over, how they, no matter how they were talked about or called names, they dressed for success. They strive. They brought property. They moved. Because, one of the biggest things that's happening now in our community is a way to kill a generation of people is let them not be educated. Our school systems are under attack. We got to talk about that. Okay? If you can't read, you can't succeed. We have to talk about that, And the deal is, if you don't have some type of economic being, I remember as a kid going to Warrington Hardware, and they worked with the Black community on a system of your word was your bond. Mr. Brown, what you need today? I need some penny nails. I need some this like that. And all he did was sign his name and shook his hand and paid his bills. We got to teach that again to the generation on how we build that economic wealth. So we've been doing this for 4 years now, Vernon, and we look forward to having you there. And I tell the people this: it's a day that come up. Some people say it's hot. Man, we got a tent for you to sit up under. It'll go by so fast you won't even know. The fan will be blowing on you. You have a great time.
All right. Well, let's go over again the who, where, why, and when, what date, where we're going to meet at, and all that kind of stuff for the folks that may not have heard it when you first came on, just joining us.
Okay, so it's Unity Fest, a Juneteenth celebration. Will be June 19th from 12 to 3 at 920 West Government Street, the corner of C and Government. The streets will be blocked out. It's a street party that will take place. There's over 38 vendors that will be there to give you out free stuff and to tell you about their organization. There'll be 4 to 5 food trucks there. That everything will be free. Bring your children, bring your grandma, bring your auntie, bring Pookie them. Let's come and have a good time. Bring someone that don't look like you. Call
Yeah.
your
Amen.
friends that you have that work with you every day that say, I understand with you. Tell them, hey, well, let's go to UniFest and show that there's more that unite us than divide us. And let's come out and have a good time. What to expect? Expect live music. Expect the kids zone. Expect just different products that you're going to learn about. Expect free food and expect to have a good time.
Okay, is it going to be in downtown Pensacola, y'all? Don't worry about parking. You're going to have plenty of places to park down there. Come early. Now you're going to start at noontime. Start at
Start at 12
noontime.
o'clock. Yes, sir. And we
Okay.
start on time.
But you said the magic word. The best 4-letter word in our community is what? Free.
Free. Okay.
You don't have to worry about. In fact, since you're going to be off, it's going to be a holiday, right? Everybody's going to be off. You don't need to cook, and folks that not going to be barbecuing themselves. You don't have to barbecue. You got everything supplied for you right then and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right. Bring your children.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about paying for anything for your children. They're going to eat free. They're going to be entertained for free. Just come. Bring grandma. Grandma don't have to scrape up no pennies. It's 19 days after the first of the month. We're going to take care of grandma.
Yeah, I know Sheriff Chip Simmons going to be there, right, Chief?
What are you talking about?
About
Yes,
UniFest.
sir.
Come on now.
UniFest.
UniFest. Are you familiar with UniFest? I know you
am.
are.
Is that the day-long thing they got?
Yes.
Yes.
Good
I
morning,
have been
Chip.
looking at the itinerary. See where I fit in.
You got to be okay. Marcel, is there anything else you want to tell us about UniFest that we hadn't already talked about?
No, sir. I think it's a good thing. And listen, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for having me on, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All righty then. And it's going to be, hopefully, it's always going to be a safe event because we know that nothing ever happened. This is the 4th one or the 5th one?
This will be the 4th one. Yes, sir.
It would be the 4th one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. We'll see you down at UniFest on June 19th, on Juneteenth Day. All right, y'all. Thank you, Reverend Marcel Davis. I look forward to having you and Troy on, okay? Back again.
Bye-bye.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
All right.
I'll see you, Marcel.
Bye-bye.
All right. Chief Simmons, what's up?
What's going on, Vernon? How are you doing, buddy?
Nothing to it. My grandmama used to always have a saying, Chip, she used to say, ain't nothing to it, a baby could do it. So how things going on in the law enforcement world?
No, we're doing good. I'm proud to say we had posted a 9-year-old that run away, and we put it out on our social media platforms, and I'm glad to say that they just texted me, said she's recovered. So if you have looked at our social media platform and you see this young lady that's missing, and what we call missing and endangered because of her age, thank you for your attention, but also thank God with us that she has been recovered and she is safe.
And not only that, Chip, y'all recovered another gentleman. I was reporting on the news a couple of times this week about, I think his name was Mr. Diggs, I believe it was, but I found y'all recovered. He was recovered safely as well, right?
That is correct. We don't put everyone that runs away because you can walk away. Vernon, you can go wherever you want to go. You can walk out of your house, walk down the street, and you don't have to return to your house forever if you don't want to. But there's some people need medication. Sometimes we think that people are endangered, and certainly an individual like this young lady, she's only 9 years old. She needs someone that can care for her. In those situations, we put the information out there on social media platform so that we can get all the assistance that we can from our community.
Do that those situations like that? Do they earn an Amber Alert? How is that different than an Amber Alert?
An Amber Alert is for a criminal event, and it's and you have to have certain criteria. You have to know who they're with. It's not really for specifically to missing people, although they can kind of adjust as the situation dictates. But typically, case in point, a couple months ago, about a month and a half ago, I guess, we had the the lady brought her 3-year-old into the hospital, and then when the doctors started asking questions, they took the child and left. It didn't qualify for an Amber Alert, but it didn't stop us from putting information out. It didn't stop us from putting them on the billboards. It didn't stop them from putting that tag number that we had in our license plate readers. And fortunately, we were able to use our license plate readers to find that car. But it didn't necessarily qualify for an Amber Alert. People think you can do an Amber Alert for any time someone's missing, and it's not necessarily the case with Amber Alerts, but it doesn't stop us from putting it out. It doesn't stop us from asking people's assistance.
Okay. Oh, that's good information to know, Chip. I noticed that with that particular case, I understand additional charges. That's just horrific, Chip. That a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I understand that some charges been upgraded for them personally, and then for the folks that culpable, like people that failing to report those kinds of incidents. We're gonna have to make sure that we have to protect children. Okay, and so I understand some charges might be for that person that failing to report it, that knew about it, right?
So this is kind of a long and complicated mess, really. We just talked about some of the circumstances that began that investigation. We were able to charge the lady that brought the child in, Blunt, and then Miss Williams as well. We charged 2 people with felony neglect, which means they knew that the child needed medical attention. They knew that the child was seriously injured, and they did not provide the care that was needed for those children. So we charged them with neglect, but we did not initially charge them with actually doing the abuse, because we had to make a lot of interviews. There's a lot of kids, a lot of foster kids involved in this. And so we were able to recently, as part of the investigation, if you recall, though, we did find out that they were also taken to a area daycare, and those injuries were documented at the daycare, but never reported to DCF hotline. And so we ended up, in addition to the 2 felony neglect charges early on, we arrested an individual for failure to report. And now I can tell you the latest charges for the actual abuse that we brought on these 2 ladies as well. So we've made 5 total arrests on 3 total people. And I will tell you that the investigation continues. We're still looking at to see if there's anyone else that might be involved. We may or may not make any more arrests, but we are certainly looking into the entire process and seeing if there's anything that might fall under our purview. Now, we're not talking about policy. We're not talking about a state agency's policy and procedure. What we're talking about is there anything that matches or that rises to the level of to the level of criminal behavior with regards to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I often wonder, Chip, also, don't they have counselors checking on those foster kids? I wondered who's the caseworker that was assigned to that. Has there been anybody thought about looking at that? Because this just didn't happen overnight, did it?
No, we believe it happened over the injuries were evident over the course of a couple of days. That's why we ended up arresting the daycare worker.
Okay.
I will tell you that certainly we have talked to or tried to talk at least to everyone that we can, to include other children, any witnesses that we might come across, and individuals that are in one of the agencies that runs either placement of children or supervision of the children, to your point, that might be doing inspections. So we're trying to talk to everyone. And it is I said it was a complicated mess. It is complicated. It's complicated for those of us who are not in that arena, that understands that there are different entities that do different things. One places the child, one does the background checks, one does the adoptions, one does the investigations. They all work through the kids' house, and they work through DCF, Families First. Now, all these people, all these entities have their own different, endeavors that they take care of, and we're having to talk to everyone. We're to make sure that we do a complete investigation, and again, we may be finished with arrests, but there's certainly a chance that as we continue the investigation, that we find someone that might be culpable with regards to a criminal offense.
Yeah. Chip, I want to move on to a different subject here, but I want you to explain this to me and explain this to the listeners, because this is a new concept I never heard of until a couple of days ago. This concept called homeless dumping. Talk to us about homeless dumping.
Well,
Explain it
that I
first
mean,
of
I
all.
wouldn't call it that. I think that we have been challenged here in Escambia County with regards to the care and the providing services for a number of homeless people in our area. We've had a conversation. Ironically, I had a meeting with Commissioner May on Tuesday, and Tuesday or Wednesday, one of those days this week. And when I left that meeting, I drove up around the Waterfront Rescue Mission, and I noticed that people from Santa Rosa County are feeding them here in Escambia County. And I wondered to myself, do they not have homeless people in Santa Rosa County? Why are they here? Surely someone at their home. Charity begins at home. And I do not want to challenge. I do not want to make light of anyone's heart. I think it's very important that people do what they feel right in their heart. And so I'm not going to get too much into that. But then a day later, we see a Orange Beach police car and at the rescue mission. So our deputy goes, "Hey, can we help you? What are you doing? You're so far out of your jurisdiction." And come to find out, they had taken an individual from Orange Beach 30 miles, an hour drive, all the way to the Waterfront Rescue Mission here. And I'm just wondering, and my question really was, why is this happening? Why are we struggling in many cases using taxpayer dollars to help the homeless here when other entities who should be taking care of their own are dropping them off in Escambia County? That's you can barely tread water as it is. It's hard to make headway when we continue to get more and more people here from other entities. So let me take you back. 8 months ago, this happened, and Chief Deputy Leiter contacted the police department over there, and we discussed, hey, why don't do this? Please don't do this. You're making things more difficult for us. You're not helping our relationship. And this time, so it happened again. So there was no reason for me to call them anymore. There's no reason for Chief Leiter to call them. The bottom line is they're using their police cars to transport people to Escambia County, and I didn't think it's right. We don't transport people. There's stories all this used to happen all the time in the 70s and 80s. I don't know what happened in the 70s and 80s, but I can tell you right now, we do not transport homeless individuals from Escambia County to another entity. We wouldn't do that. I'm not talking about courtesy transports where someone says, "Hey, can you take me to my brother's house, or I need a place to stay." This is what I think is taking place. To be fair, people are saying, "You can't stay here. Where do you want to go?" Well, can you take me there? Yeah, I'll take you there. That's not fair to Escambia County taxpayers. And so that's the only thing I'll make. I don't want to make a bigger deal than it is. I just think that we as a community need to understand the situation, the challenges that we have with the homeless, and part of that seems to be other entities, other communities bringing their homeless here to Escambia County to make use of our resources. And if it was happening once, that's not necessarily my problem, but it continues to happen, and we hear reports of it happening on a weekly basis, and not just Orange Beach. I'm not saying that, but on a weekly basis. And again, if you keep on weighing down the ship, eventually it'll sink.
Yeah, you mentioned that Santa Rosa County, and you mentioned Baldwin County. They're not services similar to what we offer here in Escambia County for the homeless, and rather than, I don't know whether they got what their equivalency to a waterfront mission over in Baldwin County, Santa Rosa County, but don't they have something equivalent to that?
Oh, they do. They do.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they didn't take them over there. I can't. We have to talk to them about that. I don't know why they chose to go to another state. I really don't. I'm assuming that the person that they decided couldn't stay there any longer needs. When he said Pensacola, says, "Okay, we'll do what we need to do and get him out of our town." I call it the way I see it. And again, if someone has information that we're doing it, let me know, because this certainly is not sanctioned.
The fascinating thing that I find is that you talking about taxpayer dollars, but you can just flag down the local cruiser and say, well, take me to Escambia County, crossing state lines, an hour away, crossing state lines on taxpayers' dollars. Say might be probably more to that story, but I don't know. But
Yeah,
so
again, we've got important things to do, and I don't know that I need to really continue to rehash this. I will tell you that I had a good conversation with the police chief, and we agreed to have a conversation about maybe ways in which we can work together. That was before the mayor opined about the situation, but we got things to do here, and I'm gonna keep doing our job here, to keep finding runaways and keep arresting felons, and making Escambia County safer.
yeah, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but I just thought that was an interesting story, and I kind of find it kind of well, while you got a cruiser doing that, it could be doing something else more serious. Somebody could be robbing the bank over there. That cruiser could have been taken care of. But anyway, we'll move on for that. But I thought that story
That's
story
for their
was real
taxpayers
interesting.
to decide. They have their own people. They have their own leadership, and they make their own decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. What else going on the law enforcement front, from the sheriff's office point of view, Chip?
We were talking, we're getting geared up for school's out, so we're getting geared up for the
Yeah.
summer. And we're also talking about our next training academy, which will start probably in June. We're doing very well recruiting. We're able to recruit for every vacancy that we have. Now it takes some time to get them through the system, but we have, I want to say, 6 or 7 vacancies now, and we have probably 20, 30 people on the list. So we're doing very good with regards to recruiting. We're able to get high caliber recruits, and then we obviously provide top-notch, first-rate training here at the Escambia County Sheriff's Office Training Academy. And but also I want to say this. So when they get out of their rookie school or police academy, they do it what we call a field training, which is about a 4-phase approach for us. And so if you see a bunch of deputies out, more deputies than it seems like is normal on a traffic stop or on a search or something, search warrant even, it's because there's a trainee in with a deputy. We are not a two-person car. Typically, it's
Okay.
one deputy for every cruiser car. But what you will see, because we've just finished a training class, is there are, I guess, probably 14 to 16 deputies that are out there in training. So there's a great chance that you will see a 2-person car, a 2-deputy car, and know that one of them is a field training officer and one of them is a trainee. So you'll see more out there, and obviously the plan is to get them trained up and to get them out there to ride what we call solo and do the job for Escambia County.
We talk a lot about jobs. We got a segment on Mondays and Tuesdays where we talk about jobs. But we hadn't talked about any jobs specifically for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. But what prerequisites does one need to get to be into the academy, or your police academy, or your program? How does one get to participate?
Right. Well, you have to be 21 to be a deputy sheriff, to be hired as a deputy sheriff, and you need to not have a certain felony convictions or misdemeanor involving moral turpitude. So you can't be a thief, right? You can't be someone like that. I will tell you also, though, that we have a cadet program, which is like the segue into the sheriff's deputy position. You've got you can be 18 years old to fill one of our cadet positions. We have 12 total positions. We have probably 2 positions now, and again, we have a number of people on that list. So basically, you just need a high school diploma. You need to have a driver's license, and you need to not be a felon involving pretty much any felon, or a misdemeanor involving moral turpitude. So we're like everyone else. We want the best of the best. If you've got military experience, that's even better. If you've got law enforcement experience, even if it's from another state, you can do what we call equivalency of training, which is a shortened version of our police academy, because you still have to take the state exam. And once you become a certified law enforcement officer and you meet our standards, then we can put you to work right here in Escambia County.
So if anybody interested in becoming a deputy, they just go on your website and find out all that they need to know?
That's correct. Okay. We are always advertising for the sheriff's deputy, always advertising for cadets, always advertising for dispatch. There's a number of positions that we keep it open all the time. There are some probably lesser known positions, but equally important positions that only come available certain times because of people staying in those jobs. But we're always advertising for deputies, always advertising again for cadet and dispatchers.
So you had also on your website, you got unsworn position as well as a sworn position, right?
That's correct. Every position that's open is advertised on our website. So if you go, in fact, like you said, you can actually apply online, and then someone will contact you with regards to a sheriff's deputy. They'll let you know if you pass the initial screening, and then let you know when what we call a physical abilities test is, which is exactly what it sounds like, a physical abilities test. A little bit of running, a little dragging dummies, a little go over a fence, under a wire there, and then you get inside the cruiser car, get out of the cruiser car, and it's a timed event, as you can imagine. And if you don't pass that, obviously you can't go forward into the interview process. So it's not easy to get into, but it is the most rewarding career there is.
You still got the swimming test?
No. I tell people that all the time, that when they complain, oh, we got to do this abilities test, and I tell them, you know what? When I started, we all met at Pensacola Junior College at the time at the pool, and it ain't a regular pool either. It's not like my pool in the backyard. It's an Olympic-sized pool that we had to swim all the way up to the end, all the way back. We had to get a weight, and we had to swim down under the bottom of it, retrieve that weight, and put it up to the top of the pool to get certified. And that's just part of it. Then we had obviously a running and mile and a half and all that stuff. But I tell people all the time, it's funny you say that we used to have to be able to swim, and not just swim a decent distance, and grab a weight and bring it up.
well, the reason I say that, Chip, I know you got to go to me, but the reason I say that, because when I got out of the military, that's the thing that I wanted to go into law enforcement. That's the thing that kept me out of law enforcement, because despite the fact that I was served 4 years in the Navy, I still couldn't swim, at least swim enough to do that test. So that's the reason I'm not in law enforcement today.
I was a decent swimmer, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy. I'm glad I don't have to do it now. Let me put it that way. I am glad I don't have to do that now.
Very good. Anything else, Chip, before you get on to your staff meeting?
No. I appreciate the support of the community. We just know that we are doing the best that we can every day and every night. We've had a good couple slow weeks, and we just want everyone to stay safe.
Yeah, we wanted to stay slow. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Y'all take
Thank
care.
You now. All right. We'll see you next week. All right, y'all. That's Chip Simmons, y'all. Illustrious sheriff. So he's on every Friday at 8:30. Rain, shine. If he 95% of the time, he show up in person. When he can't show up in person, he always have somebody to represent him. Okay. So keep that in mind. He's there and committed to the community. All right, y'all. I want to just go back to some of the public service announcement that we talked about. So I just want to make sure that June is Black Music Month, number 1. Okay. And Juneteenth, number 2. Also hurricane season, number 3. And we want you to make sure that you prepared. Okay. Prepare yourself for hurricanes. Prepare yourself now. Last year, we kind of escaped the rafted. We didn't have any hurricanes, and that's rare. That is rare. Because usually we get something to hit Florida one way or the other, but we escaped last year pretty much, and totally escaped it in Pensacola. Now we had major storms since 2004 and 2005. The major one was in 2004, and then we had a couple minor ones since then. But let that be a lesson to you, okay? 2004. How many years ago that been? It's 2026 right now, okay? We're talking way over 20 years now that we hadn't had a major storm in Pensacola. And they come pretty regular, y'all. I remember a lot of storms. We had a major hurricane in 1979. We had a major hurricane in 1984, on and on and on and on. But then we had one in 2004 that that really shook us to our core. But don't rest on your laurels, if you will. Okay, don't get comfortable, because as sure as I'm sitting here, one is going to come. It might not come. It didn't come last year. It may not come this year. We don't know. But they're saying that the hurricane season is not going to have as many. It's probably going to be predicted to going to be one storm less. But the problem is these hurricanes are getting stronger in intensities. Okay. And why is that? I don't know. Maybe it's because of climate change or whatever the case may be. But it's getting to be stronger in intensity, so that you want to make sure that you're safe. Okay. Do whatever you need to do right now to prepare for, if you want to go and reinforce your home, do that. If you want to put a new roof on your house so it don't blow your roof off this time, I don't know what you need to do, but I do know one thing. If you have a plan, okay, have a plan, okay. Now my plan, I wrote out every hurricane since I've been in Pensacola. I wrote them out. We had many of them since I've been here for the last 50 years, and so I wrote them out. But each year, these hurricanes again look like they're picking up more in the strength of intensity. So if you think you want to temporarily relocate, find a place, kind of have a safe harbor place in your mind or in your plan where you intending to go in case of an hurricane. Okay, in case of hurricanes, because these things are not. And I've said that I'm probably going to leave town. Okay, I'm going to lock down the shop, turn off the transmitters and everything. I'm going to haul. I'm leaving town. If we get another direct hit on a hurricane. Okay, I'm tired of sitting it out. That's just me. You might want to sit it out. But if you are going to sit it out, okay, go ahead and make your plans right now. If you don't have a generator, go ahead and buy your generator now while they're relatively inexpensive, because if you try to get a generator, two things going to happen when you get hit by a storm. Either generator's not going to be available, and if they are available, they're going to be more expensive. So go ahead and get your generator now. If you already have a generator, and if you got one of those free FEMA generators that you had since 1984, since 2004, you might want to check to see if that damn thing working, okay? And if you got a generator that you had over the years, try it out now. Make sure it works, because if you leave gas in those things, they tend to deteriorate the gas lines. It deteriorates so you need to clean it out. In other words, and they always tell you, when you finish with the generator, always drain the gas out of the line. Don't leave the gas in there. Drain it out the line and drain it out the tank, so you don't have no gas in there. Also, if you are going to resurrect that old generator, now the time to do it, and don't wait till the storm get here, because you might not be able to get it to work. Start it up right now, okay? Put new spark plugs in it, put new gas in it, fresh gas in it, start it up, make sure it works first of all, okay? Make sure it works first of all. And excuse me. And a lot of people are opting to get these in-home generators. They're expensive, but they might be worth it to you. You can install those in-home generators. The next best option to it, if you got a portable generator, that you can have these devices that you can put on your house that can run more than, so you don't have to run extension cords all over the world. You can just plug it into your house. At least it'll run your refrigerator or your lights in your house. You can do that as well. Or you can just run cords if you want to, but be careful about that if those things happen. But be prepared to sit it out. Another cautionary advice is that also get your hurricane kit. prepared, okay? Get you a box. Get your flashlights, portable radios, batteries, everything. Put them in a box and have it ready just in case. The other thing that you want to do as well is make sure that you have, they're saying, they used to say 3 days of food, but now they're saying anywhere from 5 to 7 days of food, perishable food that you can have in case the hurricane do hit. So get yourself prepared, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Have a plan, because hurricanes is nothing to play with. You know, we know that, and tornadoes are nothing to play with as well. We don't experience many tornadoes either, but we know, and you can't determine when tornadoes come. They're even dangerous, if you ask me. But at least hurricanes, you can prepare. You can prepare for a hurricane, and so go ahead and do what you need to do right now. So that's my safety tip, if you will, for the ensuing hurricane season. And it is up on us. It's going to start on June 1st. It run through November the 30th. Okay. So we got whole 6 months of a hurricane threat, if you will. So have a plan, be prepared, get your generators, get your food, get your items, blankets, and when you probably want to need it hotter, portable air condition is another thing that you might want to, like a little 5,000 watt air condition that you might want to get right now and put it in, buy it while they cheap. Okay, because the portable generator can run one of those portable air conditioners as well. So be advised, and we're going to talk a lot more about that. We're going to have somebody on again as we go along here to talk about hurricane preparation that know a little more about it than what I know about it, so that you can definitely be put on there. All right, y'all, it is the weekend. I hope you enjoy your weekend this weekend. Hope it's going to be safe. It's definitely, I believe we are going to have some rainy weather throughout the weekend, y'all. I believe we're going to have some rainy weather throughout the weekend. And today's weather, this is what it looked like for the weather for today, and going on into the weekend, y'all. We have these, and so you can go ahead and plan it as well. You know, I'm talking about the hurricane.
WBQP TV Radio wants you to be prepared for the hurricane season.
All right, let me go over the weather for the weekend so you know what you expect, okay? For your weekend,
Good morning,
weather.
Vernon. They say
Good
Pensacola and the weekends are made for each other. Well, this is your WBQP weekend weather forecast to help you plan your weekend. Friday. High, 84 degrees. Low, 73, 84 degrees. Chance of rain, 70%. Mostly cloudy and humid with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. Heavy rainfall may lead to localized flooding in low-lying areas. Don't forget your raincoat. Saturday. High, 85 degrees. Low, 71 degrees. Chance of rain, 50%. Warm and humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms are possible. You can still have a good day at the flea market. Sunday. High, 85 degrees. Low, 72 degrees. Chance of rain, 60%. Mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon and evening. You will have plenty of time to go to church before the rain moves in. Monday. High, 83 degrees. Low, 70 degrees. Chance of rain, 55%. Partly cloudy skies with isolated thunderstorms possible during the afternoon. Start your work week warm and wet. Weekend outlook. Pensacola will experience warm and humid conditions throughout the weekend, with daily chances for showers and thunderstorms. Afternoon storms may produce heavy rain, gusty winds, and lightning. Residents and beach visitors should stay alert for changing weather conditions. June 1st kicks off the official hurricane season. Prepare early by getting that generator service now and stocking up on at least 7 days' worth of food. Stay tuned to WBQP TV 12 and WBQP Radio for continuing weather updates throughout the week and the weekend. Back to you, Vernon.
All righty, y'all heard it from Miss Cynthia there. Okay. You got your weekend weather, y'all. I got to get out of here. You know I love you, and I hope you have a great weekend. And I will see you again on Monday with another great week of Morning with Vernon. Y'all have a great weekend. Okay?
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go.